Good evening everyone. Welcome to Daily News Analysis by Tathastu ICS. I am Manisha here to discuss the Hindu newspaper for the day 10th February 2026. You will get this PDF in the description box, as well as you can scan the QR code and join our Telegram channel for the regular updates. Okay. So, we will see the topics for the day. Okay. Mostly it is from the editorial today. So, we will see one by one. Okay. Okay, the first one is back on track. It's basically on the India and Malaysia's ties. Okay, recently that we yesterday also we have discussed about it, right? So this article is basically on the India-Malaysia ties and what and all have been discussed there. Okay, so generally whenever it is a multilateral or a bilateral, the most focus will be going on GS2 paper. Okay, and if there is any economical terms that is being discussed, then it will be important for us in the GS3 paper. Okay. Then the next one is shifting ideas. So this article also is very important for us. Okay, so this is basically on the ideologies. Okay, how the freedom of expression is being challenged at times. Okay, so it is important again for us in the GS2 paper and in the GS1 and also GS4. So if you see why it is important for us in GS2 paper. Good evening Avya. Okay, good evening Abhi. Okay, so now when we come to the GS2 paper, actually the freedom of speech and expression, the article 19 is being dealt here. So in that way we are going to see how it is challenged and what is the state's response and what triggered this article. Okay. Then when it comes to GS1, as we know, this is basically of freedom of expression related issue, right? So at this point we would be able to see in the society it has been basically on a idea of political disorder or else a societal disorder. Okay, in that concern it has been the expression, the true expressions or the freedom of expression has been curtailed. So here the society is not given a idea about a core theme, the core crux of whatever the expression is about. Okay, so in that case how it affects the society, that we are going to see. And also GS4, like how state or any other institution is overreaching their area of authority. Okay, then the third one is next big commodity. So earlier the capitalism is about extracting the natural resources, but it have gone beyond in now 21st century, and nowadays it is like most of harming the self, like we are just extracting our own self and we are exposing it to the whole global trends. Okay, so we will be seeing what it is. Okay, I am just giving the insight here and later on we will be moving for the detailed one. Okay, so here again it is coming for GS2 because it involves like social media and other digital platforms, how we how they are like invisibly they are extracting our own things and how human self are mining themselves and they are exposing it to the outer world. Okay, so in that case we need a regulation. So in GS2 paper we are going to see it, and also GS4 paper basically on the outreach or the behavioral pattern that we go through. Okay, here the society part also will be included, we will be seeing in a particular way. Okay, then comes the Kimberley process. Okay, India is going to host the Kimberley process summit, okay, in 2026, and we are going to discuss on what it is, okay, and how it is important for India and why it is important, what is the relation with Kimberley process and India. Okay, so this is again for this is mostly because of India, the diamond the Kimberley process is about. The Kimberley process is about mostly of the diamond that is been polishing and the transferring of the exports and the imports of diamonds that is regulated. Okay, so that is the issue here. So we will be seeing it in the GS2 paper. Okay, then apart from that the next one is about the anemia, okay. Certain blood test methods and therapies are not actually helping, okay, right now to diagnose diabetics, because diabetics is a huge and a alarming threat to India right now. Okay, so we will be seeing in that healthcare sector. Okay, so we will be discussing these topics for the day. Moving on, Tathastu is providing you certain courses which will help you in excelling your UPSC preparation. Okay, so when it comes to Parthastu mentorship, so that will help you in excelling your syllabuses. Okay, if you have already read, if you have already gone through a self study, Parthastu mentorship will help you by providing a dedicated mentor and also a customized schedule for you to continue your preparation and master in your preparation. Okay, and when it comes to pre-sure prelims crash course and test series, you can check your accuracy, and this will be a last minute revision pattern also. The crash course will be comprehensively curated, so that you will be having a revision and also tested accuracy through the test. Okay. Then comes our GS foundation course. We have already started from 2nd of February. It is not too late. Okay, you can join our GS foundation course for your better preparation, and also BA plus UPSC if you would like to go through with integrated preparation with BA and also the UPSC, then you can opt for Tathastu. Okay. Then moving on, first article, basically it is about the India-Malaysia ties, right. So this is mentioned here as it is a repairing ties. Why it is a repairing? What was the issue? Okay, so earlier it was like in 2025 India is supposed to have a meet in Malaysia, but due to Asian summit, the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi have shifted his interest towards Asian, okay, and he skipped the Malaysian visit at that time. But at that time he have promised that the next visit will be for the 2026, the first visit will be Malaysia. Okay, so this is not very much important for us, but we are understanding the ties and what is the issue there that needs a repair here. Okay, so this is one of the thing, and there is another thing. It is actually concerning India about the comment that Malaysia gave on the Pahalgam attack. Okay, so setting all those differences aside, India and Malaysia have started a tying up. Okay, they have started to strengthen the ties. So now we will see how it is going to be proceed further. Okay, so the major thing here it is discussed is, okay, as we all know, terrorism, okay, cross-border terrorism and also counter-terrorism cooperation. Okay, I'll zoom it for you. Hope it is clearly visible for you all. If not, please let me know. Okay. Then, so the cross-border terrorism and also counter-terrorism cooperation, intelligence and information sharing. Okay, all these are basically of security related things. Okay. Then coordinating positions at United Nations and Financial Action Task Force on the issue. So if you see we all are very much aware about United Nations, okay, and when it comes to Financial Action Task Force, this is a global mechanism where it's a global governmental organization where they will be actually working on the preventing the money laundering. Okay, so all these things will be taken care by Financial Action Task Force. Okay, the black money, the corruption and also the money laundering, the huge things that actually affects a nation's financial terms, so that will be dealt here. Okay, so apart from that, we are going to have a discussion with Malaysia about semiconductors. Yesterday we saw Malaysia is the global center hub. They are the huge hub for shipping and packaging, right? So in that terms, we would be able to see two different things. One is we could get cheaper semiconductor raw materials, right? And apart from that, at a discount price also we will be getting. Now we have moved a bit extended. Okay, now IIT Madras and also the Malaysian Academy, okay, they will be collaborating, and they will be having a cooperation regarding the skill enhancement and also the technology shared for the semiconductors. Okay, so that is what we are going to see here, building on cooperation between IIT Madras Global and the Advanced Semiconductor Academy of Malaysia. Okay, other than that, we are going to see trade, defense, energy security and digital technology. So these are the things that has been discussed. So in this whole article, this is very much important, and apart from that, there are some differences also. Like, see, if you see here, Zakir Naik, hai na? So he is a wanted person in India, okay, related to the UAPA, and now he is staying in Malaysia. So apart from this, and also the Pahalgam attack counter, and also the skipping of Malaysian visit. So these are the things that have been kept aside, that is not taken into the consideration, and apart from that, we are just moving to a strong and a diplomatic ties right now. Okay, it is going to be a win-win situation for India and also Malaysia. We will be seeing it further. Okay. Okay. Here it have been mentioned, since 2024, India-Malaysia ties have been in a very good manner. Okay, not only in 2024, I am just taking the current scenario. Okay, it is supposed to be a visit in 2025, and there is also good ties also 2025. Okay, but now the 2026 visit have achieved us a list of good things for India. Okay, so the first discussion is going to be on the counter-terrorism cooperation. So India and Malaysia will be working together, and there will be a cooperation between countering the terrorism, okay, in the global world. We will be giving the recommendations how to track them and what and all can be done, like how to track the fundings for them. So if there is any country that has been providing the asylum or any other support to these terror groups, so how we have to combat it. Okay, so that kind of discussion is going on. And the cross-border terrorism, again, the intelligence and information sharing and coordination, okay, positioning at UN. So here India will be having a strong support from Malaysia when it comes to UNSC. Yesterday also we saw it. Okay, so the United Nations Security Council, we will be having a seat in that. Malaysia will be helping us in to acquire permanent seat there. Okay. Then the intelligence and information sharing, here it will be basically for the internal security and also the security, maritime security and the defense related technologies here. Then the financial action task force that we have talked about, the terror funding and also the money laundering kind of things, how to prevent them. So we will be having a position in FATF also. Okay. Then, so what are all the other discussions that is going to be happening? One is the collaboration between IIT Madras Global and also the Advanced Semiconductor Academy of Malaysia, where we will be getting the technologies and the skills, okay, based upon the semiconductors. Because see, if you see, semiconductor is an emerging technology in the global trend. Okay, so we had ties with EU regarding semiconductor, and also we had a negotiations with US also regarding semiconductor. So please do read about semiconductor. Okay, and it is very much important for India to adapt the global trends and the critical materials that we actually needed for the technology nowadays. Okay, so the trade, okay, defense, energy security and the digital technologies will be is being discussed. Okay, and more of it, here comes the major picture, because this we have already seen, so there is no much nothing new here. But here when it comes to ASEAN and India, okay, the Asian Southeast nations, okay, so that Malaysia is one of the Asia the country that is an Asian country. Okay, so here if we see, India is exporting certain things. India has a trade ties with ASEAN. Okay, so here Asian-Indian ties, okay, for goods and for the goods we are going to have it, okay. So, the skipping of Asian summit right now is, it was a slight bloom, okay, there, but to settle down this blow, the Malaysian visit will be helping India to settle down those differences. Already India is going to have a host for BRICS this year, okay. At the end of this year we will be having the BRICS host. So, if India is being the host at this time, we would be able to satisfy the Asian countries in two different ways. One is Indonesia is already a member in BRICS, okay, who is already present in Asian nations also, okay. The Malaysia is also right now interested to join BRICS. So, here we can we are opening the doors for Malaysia, okay. We didn't promise any seat right now, okay, but the aspirations, the interest that Malaysia showed, for that India will be taking a action or a step, so that Malaysia also will come and join BRICS at points, okay. So, that will be a cooler point here. So, we will be getting a plus point in the Malaysian ties also, and apart from that, it will be easy for us to convince Asian countries that we are still having the concern about look east policy, and we are having the connectivity and continuity towards the Southeast Asian countries also, okay. We are not moved towards more of a Europe or the western countries like US, but still we are having a concern also here, okay. So, this is what is being discussed here, and apart from that, we are going to have a mature dialogue. In this meet, they haven't discussed the differences that we have talked earlier. So, the differences is about Zakir Naik, who has been wanted in India for UAPA, okay, and apart from that, the comment where Malaysia, okay, they gave a comment, okay, and apart from that, they asked India and Pakistan to have a diplomatic talks, okay, and they said like Malaysia will come for intermediary also, like if they want, if India or Pakistan want, they can be a intermediary for this dialogue also, but it is not highly convinced for India. So, we have neglected it, but keeping this differences aside, okay, keeping the terms that recently the ministries that talked about ASEAN as a B teams of China and everything, okay. So, stepping all those differences at a different sites, okay, they are, India and Malaysia is having a diplomatic and a matured dialogue right now, so that the countries will be having a equal win-win growth, okay. So, that is what it is about. So, when it comes to India and Malaysia, why it is very important, one is we know China's aggression, and the next thing is about like how we can the global partners or the neighbors, how we can share the technologies or any other resources that we actually have, and we can stabilize the global patterns, like not building any particular over dependence or dominance of any country, okay. So, it is basically of growing together, okay. India and Malaysia will be enhancing they will be sharing their specialized and expertise areas, so that the each person can obtain a state where we do not want to depend upon any western or other countries in the over dependence, okay. This is what in this article, just go through it, nothing much in this, okay. Moving on, the next one is about the shifting ideas. So, here the shifting ideas is about the article 19 here, okay. So, as we all know, article 19 is basically of freedom of expression, speech and expression, right. But the crux here is in UP, okay, Chief Minister Mr. Chief Minister have filed an FIR, okay, against a film, okay, where it is stated that the caste sentiments of those locals will be hurted, okay. Because of that, they have filed a FIR case. But here if you see, is there is any courts intervene in this way? No, there is no courts intervene in this case, but directly the Chief Minister himself have filed this FIR. So this is saying that there is a overreach of the authority here, okay, in this kind of cases, in Article 19 kind of cases, when it comes to the fundamental rights or the freedom of expression or something, the court has to, the highest decisive authority would be the court, okay, they have to come into the action, they have to find it, okay, whether it is actually giving any internal, is there any content that actually brings the internal disorder or law and order problem. So the legality, everything, the grounds have to be discussed by the court. But before that itself, Mr. Chief Minister have registered a FIR, okay, stating that the religious and the caste sentiments of a group will be hurted. Okay, so that is the thing here, but it questions where this is a political news. Okay, so but the question is about, can't us express our own views and contents or opinions, okay, just because a particular group or a specific group, see, if there is miscommunication or if there is any false content that has been provided, then it is okay. At that time it is necessary to take actions, or asking the censor board or any other court can intervene, and also it can say that you have to change this or else you have to replace this content, okay. But with no legal proof or any other thing, just a group is getting affected by its sentiments, it is not necessary for any art to come out of its core content, okay. So this is what the major thing where the Article 19 is basically challenged here, okay. So this the crux of the article is saying that state is misusing criminal law to silence art. Art is about expressing certain things to the global stages, but when there is any restrictions that is not actually relevant to the law and order, then it is something questionable here, okay. So the article argues that usage of police power by government to silence art, okay, where the democracy will be loses its marketplace of ideas. So in the democracy, if we are not able to express our own opinions or the content that we wish to express, so that is where actually the state is using the police power to suppress all those ideas being shared. So this article is completely about, this crux is completely about this incidents, okay. Then you all know Article 19 is the freedom of speech and expression, for to speak, write and express, okay. Here our freedom of press also will come, okay. Then apart from that, when it comes to the grounds where the questions are arising, it's about the reasonable restrictions. We cannot talk, we cannot express everything which is not a parliamentary kind of discussions, okay, or if there is any unparliamentary or a foul language has been used, okay, if there is any false accusation, so all these things are not validated and it will not be accepted, okay. So there is reasonable restrictions. So whenever you are expressing something, whenever you want to speak out something, whenever you want to write it out and express it, so all these have a reasonable restrictions in the Article 19 subclause 2, okay. So those kind of restrictions is about, it should not affect the public order, so it should not affect the peace and harmony of any state, okay, and the morality, also the internal security of the state, which is basically a law and order issue, okay, and it should not be creating any violence also, okay. So this is one of the most thing which is reasonably restricted. So if you are expressing a true fact, if you are expressing a opinion or your own ideologies, it is okay, but you have to keep that in mind. It should not triggered, or it should not be affecting anybody's dignity, or it should not be affecting anybody's core value. Okay, so that is what it is important in this. Okay, then moving on, here the major discussion is about courts have clearly mentioned that the offence that has been shown in the movie is not permits restrictions only on specific grounds. How to quote? See, there will be inquiry, no? So based on that, they will be actually checking the reliability, the truthness of those content. Okay, so see, if you for an example, okay, if we are taking it will become very political, so that is what I am thinking about it right now. Okay, so if we are taking a one group, okay, they are suppressing another group. Okay, so if there is any content that is actually showing like movies like Asuran, all these things are showing that a highly economically and also socially the high status people are suppressing the lesser people, right? So it is not offensive, or it is not like something hurting the sentiments of those higher said to be higher class people. Okay, so that is the privileged people. It is we cannot stop streaming those kind of content. Okay, in that case, instead we have to understand the reliability. Have it happened anywhere, or it has been exaggerated, or it is a complete a false statement. So in that case, it will be inquired by the court, and they will be punishing it. See, even now the constitution is being expanded. Okay, so if there is any changes that is needed, we will be adding out in the constitution, and that will be taken into the consideration. Don't worry, the specific grounds also will be altered by day when it comes to there is a need. Okay, did you understand, Avya? So we will move. Okay, okay. Then the offense is not equal to violence. Okay, so the violence shown in the movie or in the content, that will not promote any offense in local areas, right? And the hurting sentiments is not about the public disorder. So if there is any false accusation, and there is any dignity issue, then it comes to public disorder, and not this. Okay, so here what we have to focus here is the executive overreach before stepping before the thank you, Avya. So before the court has been intervened. Okay, so here already the executive person have already reacted to it, right, which is not technically advisable, right? So it is not supposed to be like before any inquiry, before any proper investigation, the FIR is not supposed to be filed in this case, but it have been done. First thing is that no prior judicial scrutiny and no legal reasoning. So there is no proper reason for filing a FIR. So this is kind of a governance issue here. Okay? And apart from that, the article suggested certain things that court should be approached first. So whatever the concern is, whatever the grounds of the issue is, first of all, these kind of things have to be reached out to the court. Then on the court have to examine in everything, okay, the illegality and also the reasons to be the reasons for removing all those content should be recorded. So why it is, like what is the ground, what is the actual issue that because of that we are removing these contents. Okay, so that is should be taken care by the court, not by any individual entity. Okay, then the state should react with least restrictive measures. So if there is that kind of a content, okay, if the UP the group, certain group of UP have been, the community of certain area of UP has been sentimentally affected or hurted, at that time state can approach the court, okay, or it can ask the censor board these concerns, okay, and they take the stay order for those, but instead we cannot go for the extreme measures of FIR like this, okay. So here we have to focus on two things, one is Article 19 and also the states and the courts function in these kind of areas, okay. Moving on, the next is the next big commodity is the mineable self. Here when you see the mineable self, okay, so here the author is saying that the major commodity in nowadays is not about semiconductors, it is not about AI, or it is not about the non-renewable resources or the critical minerals or something. It is about how one is selling themselves as a commodity, one how a human himself or herself is considering them as a commodity, and how the digital platforms and other entities are profiling them as a commodity rather than more of a human touch, okay. So here it is what mentioned. So we will be seeing, as we all know, like as we have discussed, the most valuable resource is not minerals, data or any other thing, but in the economy today it is about the human itself, the identities, the emotions that we express every day, like the Snapchat, we used to send a snap like what you are currently doing, coffee, or you are going out, the Instagram stories, the WhatsApp status, the chat that we do, you know, we are expressing everything whatever we are thinking, right. And also those relationships like friends, family, everything is about good evening Rishi, okay, okay. So now the stories and relationships and everything, all the emotions are being expressed out, and it is, see, the serious concern is about not about expressing, the thing is the expressions that is resulting where the emotions and all the contents are not considered as a human touch. Now it is kind of a profitable entity, okay. The every data that you provide about you, even if you search anything in Amazon, okay, maybe a comforter or maybe any heater or something, eventually you will be getting the ads in Blinkit also, and apart from that you will be getting the notifications from Blinkit, and even if you see the YouTube, you will be able to see the advertisements based on that. Even advertisements are showing. Apart from that, YouTube is taking the survey also, currently, recently, what kind of advertisement you saw. So these are the things that is actually been discussed here, where your emotions, where your likes and dislikes is also taken into the algorithm, okay. They are taking the data, your privacy is also been the concern area here, okay. Everything is in the profiling and also the dividing it into the algorithms, okay. So the AI is also starting to understand the human emotions right now, but it is not for a developmental growth or something, it is basically for the economy and also the profitable things, okay. So that is what the whole thing is about, and what is actually to be what are all the problems that we are going through in this kind of a self mining, okay, and what the platforms, the OTT platforms or any other digital platforms, what they are using with those data, all these are been discussed in this area, okay. So this is what the exact thing is, we will be seeing one by one, okay. So the first one is mind self. So if somebody is mining themselves, actually is, this term refers to extracting human expressions, experiences, emotions, identities and social lives, how we live and who are all our family and what are their likes and dislikes, and what is your opinion about certain issue, or what you like when there is 2-3 alternatives, which one do you choose and what is the criteria to choose that, everything has been recorded, okay. So the expression of all these things showing that we are mining ourselves, the everything about us are being mined, and we are giving it to the private OTT platforms and other digital platforms, so that they can earn it from selling those data, okay. Then here it is talking about what are all the things that we are expressing and that is being used as a profit thing. Okay? One is relations, the friends, okay, family, the day to day life, okay, and also the opinions, whatever the opinion about a skincare product or any brand or any other issue, okay, and also the likes and dislikes of yours, emotions, behavior in online, how a certain particular people have to behave. Like if you see somebody is taking a vlog or if there is any content, there will be different types of comments in that, right? One is like supporting them and other thing is like degrading them with different languages, and the other thing will other people will be defending those content creators. So this kind of the public behavior, the online behavior has also been taken into the consideration and it is made into the profit. Okay, so we will be seeing the seriousness of things eventually. Okay, okay. As we have discussed, so how a self is being mined through chats, okay, stories, vlogs, interviews, profiles, AI training data. So all these are like transforming your data into different things, okay. So all these are happening, but they are without any consent, okay. There is no clear consent that the expressions or those data you are giving us, it will be encrypted and it will not be used for further purposes, and we are not going to take the profit outcome from that. So those kind of consent are not very clearly defined, and the global, even now when it comes to a local small news that is not being a local news, it is expanding over global platforms, okay. If there is any issue or if there is any something certain thing that is very nice that happens in local area, now earlier it used to be only with local area only, okay, but now it is in the global stage. Everybody could see like what is happening in US, even we could see, the rural area of India can see what is happening in India, okay, maybe any other thing, okay. So that is actually very visible for every global stage where it might end up in our issues with the internal security as well. Okay. So the self becomes portable, scalable and monetizing. So here when it comes to portable, everybody can see you, right? And apart from that, the scalable, the measures they keep by adoring to the global trends or fashions or any other values in the globe, okay, we are adapting it to it and we are forgetting our own identities. Yes, manipulation of behavior, okay. So all these are showing that somehow we are losing our own individuality, instead we are going into an algorithm like this. We are kept in a set of a set of identities, okay. Human is not about like one particular identity, okay. We have different multiple colors, we have multiple ideologies and opinions, but nowadays it has not been actually accepted like that, but instead we are having a group of like basket 1, basket 2, basket 3, like that it has been divided. Okay. So that is what it has been showed here. And when it comes to the OTT, okay, if you see like many culture differences also have been changed here, okay. So when it comes to South India, there is in Tamil Nadu there is no function called haldi or sangeet in the weddings, okay, but it is prevailing in North, right. It is a custom and tradition of North, but by seeing those movies, by seeing those content, the problem here is we are adapting to a new culture. That is good to an extent, but here we have to keep that in mind. We should not forget our roots also, right. So that is a major issue here been based on that. So based on the culture and traditions also, Mintra, Ajio, like these kind of clothing or fashion entities are using those traditions and customs, and they are making it very profitable. And the photography and even the photos that you share, the costume that you wear, everything has been taken into the profitable manner. Okay. So rather than experiencing the essence of those customs and traditions, it has been mostly of monetized, like even the Rakhi, it's a very good festival, but a emotional connect, but now it have been changed into a trade. Like for Rakhi, it is supposed to be like experiencing the essence of brotherhood and sisterhood, right? But now it is like blink it, or eventually like immediately you get product, you will give the chocolate, that chocolate is also about Cadbury's, okay, again a corporate. So this kind of things are actually going on, which is misleading the emotions, but it is profiting some corporate entities, okay. Then extracts emotional value and creates false democratization that we talk right now, okay. The illusion of freedom. So when it comes to like don't post like this kind of things, or if we ask somebody to not to post everything of your life, the first question will be coming like why you are saying it, okay, it is my wish. So here the illusion of freedom is like the idea that we have, like I can express whatever I feel, the idea of like I can expose whatever I want, right? But here the self expression is not only a individual freedom, in reality it is actually like whatever the things you are self expressing, that is coming into the data, the algorithms, and also the scores that every ideas or every other things is gaining here, okay. So the dangerous idea here is everyone has story and also that deserves a audience. So it is actually dumping, okay, unequal power relations like big tech corporations gain this while individuals receive data. Exactly this is. So if when it comes to this, okay, one is you are giving your data, so you are supposed to be paid for it, first thing, and second thing is like at times you are able to face the insult also because of those things, okay, and in return at times everybody is starting to dump their expressions and everything. So that is somewhere misleading, and the emotional touch, the genuinity of the content will be going, but at the other side the society is being deteriorated, and other side the corporates will be keep on gaining, okay. Then so the author is saying that by expressing our own lifestyle or something, we are willingly mining ourselves, and we are being a bonded labels to these OTTs and the private corporates, okay. Till now is it clear? So when it comes to UPSC aspect, you might see like why it is it may sound pant and also the t-shirt, that is which is actually comfortable, but here we are losing out our own cultural differences, the diversity that we had earlier, now it has been homogenized to western commodities, okay. The data privacy, the major issue. So if you see, it is important for us in GS1 paper, okay, we are losing out the identity, the local cultures are being eroded, and also the cultural homogeneity also has been continued. And apart from that, the data privacy and the digital governance, regulating OTT and social media. So these are basically of GS2 paper, okay, the data privacy, the digital governance, and also the OTT, the regulations that the OTT and other social media platforms are supposed to have. So these are kind of things actually concerning. Then the platform capitalism, here comes our economical terms in the GS3, okay. In the GS3 we would be able to see the technology, okay. So it is algorithmic profiling and also the platform capitalism. So the platforms are extracting our data and they are seeing the profits and they are not giving to us, okay. Then the commodification of human life, everything, day to life, the mini vlogs, everything has been commodified. If you see every mini vlogs, there will be items and there will be certain products being attached for be it advertisements or in the taglines it have been mentioned, so that by seeing them, by adapting their lifestyle, we are somewhere or the other we are changing our identity and we are purchasing those commodities only. Okay. Then the consent and coercion. So there is no proper consent clarification. So it is like whatever you post, I will be taking it for coercion only, and there comes a manipulation of behavior. कैसे हो जाएगा? Okay, you have a different opinion on Article 19. Okay, I have a different opinion on Article 19. So when there is a debate or discussion, okay, based upon Article 19, you have the concern, like you have the concern of like see, there is a reasonable restrictions and we have to accept to that. Okay, but when I am saying that no, a particular group has been affected, their sentiment is been affected, so this kind of content should not be coming. So when there is any convinced this kind of like the idea of mine, okay, the sentiments that has been hurted, so that kind of content should not be prevailing. If there is 4 people, 5 people are being saying about those things only, eventually you will be accepting that, and your behavior towards them will be completely changed. Either you will be rebelling, okay, so that the chat box will be completely filled up with the one-to-one or any debate kind of a session, first thing. Second thing, or else you will be altering your own thoughts and thinking. Okay, so that is a major issue here. The manipulation of behavior is related to that only. Okay, you will be forced to do something, you will be pushed to do something. That is what the manipulation of behavior is about. Okay, so the dignity is also, when it comes to the girl children, yesterday we saw about that, right? So the dignity of somebody is also been questioned mark. Okay, any other? Then moving on, a chance for India to polish the Kimberley process. Okay, we will see what is Kimberley process first, then why India is having the chance also. Okay, then the Kimberley process is nothing, it is a international forum. Okay, it is a mechanism to stop the conflict diamonds. Conflict diamonds is diamonds are being extracted and those diamonds are sold, or if there is those diamonds are being circulated in the market. So from that the currencies will be used for promoting the internal wars. They will be funded for those internal insurgencies, and every disorder will be happening from this funds. Okay, so that is what the conflict diamond is about. So the Kimberley process is like using funds to war against the legitimate government. So to topple the government, from the opposition leaders also will be doing it, or any other outer nations also will be doing this, so that the peace and harmony of a country will be questioned. Okay, it will be challenged, and from where the other parties will be taking their advantage. Okay, so the money that actually comes from this conflict diamonds that actually spent for these toppling the legitimate government. Okay, to stop that, the process, the mechanism is called Kimberley process here. Okay, is it clear? Shall we move? Okay, so when you see the data, like there is 60 participants globally, and they comprises, okay, nearly 99.8% of this conflict diamonds. So they fund it, and the conflict diamonds are being used for this funding this internal insurgencies. Okay, so the 60 participants alone is working on this 99.8%. Okay, even the group is very smaller, the impact you see. So that is about a huge, almost completely everything has been handled and everything has been challenged by this 60 participants only. Okay, so ma'am is explaining current affairs. I didn't get you, Karan. Actually, I didn't get you. Okay, in news. Okay, why it is in news? So India, if you see India, two different things. One is India as being a huge market for polishing the diamonds. We don't have diamonds naturally, okay, we import it, we actually polish them, we cut them, we make into the shape, and we are re-exporting to other countries. Okay, so that is what India's major workers. And now in 2026, India is going to chaired in Kimberley process meet. Okay, so where we will be getting the agenda setting power. Okay, so what and all can be what are all the steps that can be actually taken into the consideration. Okay, so that we could stop those the crowdfunding and everything for those conflict diamonds. Okay, then the diplomatic leadership role. So more of we are growing into a global political leader also. So wherever there is a conflict, there needs a leadership, right? Right now this is one of the section or the sector where silently working on global politics. Okay, silently working on those illegal fundings. Okay, so here we got the leadership to through the diplomatic role of India. Okay, and reform global system that is flawed. So already which is happening, which is not to the par, okay, which is not to the level, so that the conflict diamonds can be stopped. Okay, so here we got the opportunity to reform the global system itself. So now if we are setting the recommendations, the suggestions, or the actions taken by India, if actually works well, so we will be having a very huge leadership in these things. Okay, yes, India is not a diamond producer. Okay, exactly. In Surat also, in Mumbai also, we have a huge cutting and polishing hub, but when it comes to Surat, that is the largest. Okay, so almost like 60% of diamond polishing is nearly around in Surat only. So you can check it. Okay, moving. So again, when it comes to India and diamond, so nearly 40% of global rough diamonds, India do exports it. Okay, it actually polishes and cuts it. Okay, and it will be re-export to US, UAE, China, Israel kind of countries. Okay, so when it comes to re-exports, when it export, generally the product that we sell to or transmit to any other country, okay, which has been which is produced actually in the Indian boundaries. Okay, but here the re-export is the raw material, the diamond, the raw material is not of India's, instead we are importing it from different country, we are processing it and we are exporting it. So that's why it is re-export. Keep that in mind, UPSC will play in words. Okay. So the article is telling that center of the global diamond value chain. Okay, so India as a global hub, we have the responsibilities right now, and we have the opportunity to change this scenario right now. The global system can be changed by India right now. Okay, so the KP, the issue with the KP is about the outdated census. Okay. So the Kimberley process does not have the recent updations in the mechanisms, like excluding state sponsored violence, as I have told you, to show the outer area to get the AIDS and also to get the medical care or any other fundings. Okay, the state they themselves will be sponsoring those violence, the opposition party can trigger that. Okay, and any other, the third country can be imposing all those scenarios, okay, where these internal wars will be happening. Okay, so that it is not mentioned in the process. Okay, then also human rights abuses, the child labor, so the diamonds that has been extracted using children as a laborers, and also the human rights violation in the smuggled diamonds. So all these things are not included in this process. Now it is now it is a time for India to process in this. This article is basically giving a suggestion. Okay, then the environmental the environmentally what is happening. okay, which is deteriorating. So that is also have to be taken into the process where we would be able to stop it on time. Okay. Then the here the problem with the organization is no proper consensus. Okay, so it actually works on, so whomsoever is coming, okay, whomsoever is stating, so based on that they work, and also if there is any veto action, that will be immediately came into the action. Okay, like I'm China, okay, I'm actually creating a chaos in Pakistan or anywhere, okay, that will be reflecting on Pakistan's governance. I wanted to bring Pakistan down or something, okay. At that time I can take the veto action. If there is any other country, okay, that is complaining about China or something, if any of my friend is taking the veto power, then we cannot take the action against China. So that is what the problem here is. And the political interest blocked off decisions. So when it comes again the party play, okay, the block plays. So US and China or Pakistan, so any of these countries, okay, they have different interest on this Kimbler process, then they will be changing the whole scenario of the discussions. Okay, so we cannot proceed further because the political interest of those countries will be having the veto power, and there will be stand that will be taken as in a biased level. Okay. So what India can do, the suggestions of this article is gradual reform, not confrontation. So instead of telling everything, okay, instead of that we are going to take the gradual reform. So one by one we are going to track the diamonds where they are coming from. So we are going to use the technologies to identify the satellite view and also the GPS sections. So all these are here for taking into the reforms, like from where those diamonds are coming and what it is actually going to fund for. Okay, and apart from the technologies, okay, so the tamper proof, the time stamped, so the extraction or the polishing time, that all these will be documented. Okay, then comes this capacity building in Africa. Here when we are talking about the capacity building in Africa, we should give the alternative livelihood for African people, so that they would be able to work on more of a productive or a progressive way rather than working on these conflict diamonds. Okay. So here we have to keep a hubs of the organization, so that there will be proper monitoring, the tracking, and the people will be giving the training to extract it for the extraction for legal purposes, and also the training to identify and stop those conflict diamonds. Okay. And the third thing is about the IT support that we talked about, the technology actually. Then the certification for those diamonds. So see, it is kind of a blockchain method. Okay. So if in Africa the diamond has been extracted, and if it is been licensed or certified there only, okay, so that will be easy for other countries or India to track what is the genuinity of those diamond. Okay. So if we are instead of this, if Africa is extracting a diamond and it is going to somebody else, okay, maybe a group of A, okay, say they are funding those conflict diamonds, okay, funding through conflict diamonds, so they will be getting the funds, okay, and these diamonds will be came to India for those polishing and everything. The economy will be going back to those terror funds only. Okay. So instead of that, if we go with this blockchain method, then it will be easy to track and it will be easy to stop the illegal things. Okay. Then moving on, the strengthening institutions. So there should be proper audits, and also the data have to be submitted to the proper authority who is taking care of. Okay. Then so that's it. The article is talking about these things only. Okay. So what is Kimberley process and what the current structure and the issue with the Kimberley process. Okay. And also the how it affects India. Okay. What is the role of India and what India can do. So those suggestions are the major thing, and how we can focus on Africa also. Okay. So these are the suggestions that has been given. Just read about it, and in the Indian aspect, in the UPSC aspect, this is much important, why it is in news and what is Kimberley process, and the issues with this issues will be helpful in your mains answer writing. Okay. Moving on, the last one for the day. Okay. Anemia blood disorders can distort diabetes test HbA1c results. Okay. So the study is taken. Okay. So here we could able to see HbA1c. It is nothing but a blood test procedure. Okay, where the blood will be tested in the regarding the glucose level in the blood. Okay, so it will be taking 2 to 3 months, past 2 to 3 months glucose level. Okay, what the glucose is been added to your RBC. So by testing that, we would be able to see diabetics and things. The issue here is there are certain diseases that is actually not making this test more reliable. Okay. When it comes to anemia and other genetic blood disorders, we are not able to extract the proper ideas about the diabetes, and because of that, the delayed identifying of diabetes also in resulting in a serious health conditions like heart attack and also kidney failure. So somewhere or the other it is interrelated. Okay. So after some time diabetes is been diagnosed. Okay, the next the gradual and the next process will be like slowly, gradually every part of your human body will be getting affected because of diabetes. So this is a major issue that we have. Okay, before understanding that, here the the diabetics is about two types. One is type 1 and type 2. One is where type 1 is where your pancreas cannot properly segregate the insulin. Okay, secrete the insulin, and it is not able to that is not helping you to the insulin that has been segregated. Okay, the secreted insulin is not helping you to digest all those glucose. Okay, it is not able to break it down. Okay, and where the energy is being transmitted to your body, that is not happening properly. That is one. It is not curable. Okay, so it might be genetic also, but at times it is kind of something you cannot prevent, you cannot change it. Once it is acquired only. Okay, and there is no preventive measures for that. When it comes to type 2, it is like because of your lifestyle, your the food you are eating. Okay, the packaged food, the processed food, and the more of a junk that you are eating. So all these will be the nature of these food items will also be affecting your lifestyle. And if you are not working, if you are not exercising, your complete lifestyle depends upon this. So the type 2 diabetes is mostly prevalent in India, but we can prevent it once it is acquired. Like once the diabetes has been acquired in the human body, we cannot do anything. We have to take insulin. For the type 1, we have to take insulin regularly, and for type 2, we have to do physical activities and we have to change our lifestyle so that we can maintain the glucose level. Okay. So this is what the thing is about, and the article is talking about. So this test is not actually giving the reliable result, where the anemia and the other blood disorders are not taken into the consideration. Somewhere the values are missing. Okay, the article is about that only. We will be reading it very quickly. Okay. So the blood HbA1c is a blood test where average blood sugar level for past 2 to 3 months has been taken into the consideration. Okay. So if there is any high level like more than 120 mg, then it will be tested as a diabetes, which is not actually good. Okay. So if your blood glucose level is more than 120, then it is something have to be taken into the consideration. Okay. So diagnosing diabetics and monitoring diabetics control. So here when you learn about it, when you think, when you know about your blood glucose level, you would be able to prevent and you can work on where you could be work actually, and that helps you more. Okay. Then the study says that the test, okay, HbA1c misleading the results in India, especially in India and South Asia, where the diabetics has been more prevalent. Okay. Then why it is misleading? The anemia, okay, the iron deficiency, where there will be very less hemoglobin size, and also the blood disorders like sickle cell, okay, and apart from that many other genetic disorders also affecting the results in the okay, that actually silencing the diagnosis of diabetics, which is a alarming threat. Okay. So when it comes to India, we have the high burden of diabetics, and anemia is also in a high range. Okay. So the genetic disorder like sickle cell and also thalassemia is also a concerning factor here. Okay. So these kind of things are affecting the actual result of those blood tests. Okay. So the why it is affecting? So the blood test, okay, actually takes the lifespan of 120 days, which is we saw like in the 2 to 3 months of the time. Okay, the test will be taking the RBC, which has actually 120 days lifespan. But when it comes to the anemia things, okay, when it comes to the anemic RBC's lifespan, it is very shorter than this prescribed time. So here we are not able to actually take the results from it. Okay. Then this changed structure, like RBC used to be like this, okay, something kind of a concave, okay, it is there will be a curve inside, okay, but when there is a change in the structure like this or completely like this, okay, which is not a actual structure of the hemoglobin, okay, the consistency and also the structure, when there is a change, we will not be able to detect it. Okay. So the test will be eliminating that, so where we will be eliminating the serious issues also. Okay. The poor standardization of these tests is also one of the major impact that India is neglecting right now. Okay, we have to standardize it, and the self monitoring should be there. Whenever monthly once or twice 2 months once, we have to check the blood glucose level in the fasting, and also population overdiagnosis or underdiagnosis diabetes. When it comes to anemia prone populations, it is actually underdiagnosis of diabetes. Okay. So when there is, lesser blood, okay, anemic is about the less count, right. So when it comes to the less count, there will be less glucose level added to those blood. So at times it will be very underdiagnosis of diabetes. Okay. Then the article is actually recommending us to take the oral glucose tolerance test. We should not stop only with the HbA1c test. Apart from that, we have to take the oral glucose tolerance test also, so that we would be able to track the proper diabetics concerns. Okay. Then the fasting and post meal blood glucose also to be taken into the consideration. Then the self monitoring, which we discussed, and apart from the test for an anemia and disorders. So before going for diagnostics of the diabetes, we have to focus on mostly of the anemia and other blood related disorders. That will be helping us very easily to understand the need of the body. Okay. So if there is if you are going for diabetics diagnosis, okay, at that time you have to take the blood count also, okay, and also the any other genetic disorders that you have that is related to blood, where we can able to understand the diabetics more of it, and we can take the necessary actions, so that where we will be able to work on like lifestyles like physical activity, the food or anything else, okay, So that will be actually helping us to identify and preventing us to step into serious health diseases like heart diseases and kidney and more on. Okay. So this is for the day. Okay, if you have any doubt, please let me know, otherwise we will wind up the session. Okay. So if there is any doubt, or else we will be winding up for the day. Okay. I tried to do it within 45 minutes to 60 minutes, but again it have been prolonged. I will take your consideration. Okay, all of a sudden I was not able to change it, but eventually we will be changing it to, we will be keeping it to 45 minutes to 60 minutes. Okay. I think there is no doubt for the day. Chalo, let's complete it. Okay. Thank you so much for the anemic understand. Okay, the anemia article is okay, the crux is about, okay, nothing else. The test HbA1c test, okay, that usually widely used for understand the diagnosis of diabetics. Okay, it is actually about checking the, okay, checking the blood glucose level. Okay, if there is high, then you will be at that time you have to work on the lifestyle. Okay, and if there, or else you have to depend upon the insulin. So that is what the diabetics base is about. When it comes to anemia, okay, so at there it is giving a different result. It is not giving the proper results, because the HbA1c test is basically on certain things like the structure of the blood will be taken, the count of the blood will be taken, the lifespan of the blood will be, how mature the blood is, how new the blood is. So these kind of things will be taken into the consideration. But when it comes to these diseases, okay, it is not actually giving the reliable results, because certain areas, the affected bloods are not taken into the consideration. Instead, it is giving the false result. Okay, that is what the problem is about. Just read about it, or again rewatch it, you will be understanding it. Okay, thank you so much for the day. Okay.